Don't fuck up and don't fuck yourself. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser, on this very serious episode of the Rude Cooking School podcast. And with me in the darkness is...
Saucy Soren Marquardt.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm feeling very NPR right now.
Yeah. We're just going to go with this kind of vibe for the whole thing because I've got no energy. I've kind of given up on life. My house is falling apart. And, fuck this shit. You're lucky I even do it. So be happy. Be happy I'm here. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Hey, dude. How's it going?
Oh, so far so good, man. It's the first week of summer at work, so there's no kids around.
Oh, nice.
And so it's project time.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I guess. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
it's a little easier.
It's going to be a
harder.
lot, but at least, it's something I can focus on one task.
True, instead of herding squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, which is like official kickoff of summer. Did you do anything? Did you cook anything cool?
Oh yeah, I cooked for my daughter's graduation. I did my two butts, and I made a metric ton of barbecue beans and potato salad, and my wife made mac and cheese, and my mom brought her famous coleslaw, and so we had sliders and baked beans and mac and cheese and all that good stuff, and I made some barbecue sauce, and a good time was had by all, and everyone left full and happy. So my work here is done.
Yeah, for the rest of the summer. You got any plans for this weekend?
We have another graduation party for a friend of mine and their youngest son, who are both. She got her master's degree, and her son just graduated high school. So a lot of that going on.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But probably not a lot of cooking. I spent probably 11 hours cooking on Saturday.
Oof. Yeah. I did the Costco run on Saturday, I guess, and got Friday. It was a Friday, and got like their double. You get 2 chickens at once, and I was like, oh, guess we're having chicken this weekend, and then got like a bottom round, and I smoked chicken on Saturday, and on Sunday I made pit beef. So
that's in my short list of things to try is making pit beef.
It's so easy. Like, you just put a fucking dry rub on the thing, let it sit overnight. And I actually didn't even let it sit overnight this time. I was like, fuck it, let's try it without it. I just made the rub, put it on, let it sit for like maybe an hour while I put up got together the sauce and the beans and, all the other shit I was making that day. And then you just put it over super duper hot coals. You just burn the fuck out of it. Yeah. And then you just take it to an internal temperature of like, I don't know, 120, 125.
Well, I mean, I can do a prime rib, so I can probably do pit beef then.
Yeah. I mean, it's really like, it's just burn the hell out of it all over to make it look like a meteor, and then just move it over and then just let it hang out on the not hot side, not coal side. Mm-hmm. And then just let it come to temp. And then once it's temp, you just pull it and let it sit for 20 minutes and then slice it as thin as you can, which every time I make pit beef, I'm like, I got to get a fucking meat slicer, man.
Yeah, that's been my only apprehension is I used to have one. It wasn't a very big one, but I inherited it from basically an estate sale kind of situation. It probably had a little like 8-inch blade on it, and it was counter size.
Yeah, I had one like that. I had one that was small like that someone had given me for Christmas or something a couple years ago. It might have been my mom or something, but it was just pure junk. Like, it wouldn't cut a fucking thing. So I tossed that. But yeah, I got to get something not workhorsey, but like, a 10-inch blade and something that can slice through. If I buy a chub of bologna and want to slice it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. When we do like brisket and stuff, we use an electric fillet knife.
Yeah, I still have one, but it's not the same as like getting it way far thin.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like you really want it thin with the pit beef.
Like Guy says, it's so thin it only has one side.
Yeah, exactly. You can fucking see through it. Just wipe it on things. Like the crazy part is, I'm sitting there and cutting it is a pain in the ass, but it's worth it because if you cut it too thick, it's just not enjoyable. Because, it goes from burnt to raw. Like,
yeah, and
pretty much
is not
slice,
notoriously tender cut on its own unless you slice it thin.
Right. I mean, it's flavorful as hell and it's really delicious. And we had it for 2 nights in a row. I still have a shit ton of it left over. I have no fucking idea what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, same thing with the pulled pork. I mean, I probably could have gotten away with 1 pork shoulder, but
yeah,
my
fucking eye round was like 10 pounds or something like that. It's huge for 3 fucking people. But like, I don't know if I'll just redo it. I'll just have people over this weekend and just, all right, let's have some more pit beef, or, chop it up, throw it into some beans, or, I don't even know what bottom round would do after like kind of a long cook.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
to try to soften it up.
Lean, I figure it would just lock up, but
yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of interconnective tissue to like break apart after a long cook. I don't know. I have to look it up. But I mean, the sandwiches are amazing. Like, and it's super easy. You just make tiger sauce, which is mustard. I mean, mayonnaise, horseradish, prepared horseradish, and lemon juice, salt and pepper, and then thinly sliced onions, as many as you can handle. And I love onions, so I pile that shit on top of there.
Sounds good.
It's kind of like an onion sandwich with beef.
I mean, other than the breath situation, I think that sounds delicious.
But the beauty of it is everybody's breath's like that, so screw it.
It's just a Baltimore thing. Everybody just understands they're going to have onion breath at least 2 days a week.
Like, I know people that don't even like onions that put onions on their pit beef just because they're just like, it doesn't taste the same. And I fucking hate onions. And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
I figure it's got to help with texture too.
It helps with texture because the meat's kind of tough. This gives you a little bit of, a vegetal crunch, but it also plays with the horseradish.
Yeah.
It bumps that up. Cause what I do is I'll put mustard and horseradish, like mustard at the bottom, horseradish at the top, or either which way. And then just the onions. I mean, some people put tomatoes, some people put lettuce, like, fixings are your own thing, but mainly it's onions and horseradish and mustard.
Okay. Sounds simple enough, but it sounds good.
Yeah, it was good. I just have a lot left over. I got to figure out what to do.
That brings to mind a running debate I've had with my wife and sandwich construction.
Okay.
Just an aside here real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Sure.
So when you're making just a plain old over the sink lunch meat sandwich.
Okay.
Deli, just a deli meat sandwich. Mm-hmm. And I'm a mustard and mayo guy on like a turkey and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
And we have a big debate over what side which condiment goes on versus the filling of the sandwich. My philosophy, and it always has been, is the mayo goes on the side where the cheese is, and the mustard goes where the meat is. I feel like that's the ideal bite.
I think I do it opposite way because the cheese is a little too slick, and it will come off easier on the mayo side than it would on the mustard side.
Huh. Okay. I see the logic.
The turkey has a little bite to it. You know what I mean? Like a little texture that'll hold it in place, where the cheese would just kind of out of the sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but I like the fatty with the fatty and the savory with the savory.
No, I got you. It makes sense. I don't really put mustard on my turkey and cheese sandwich. I just do 2 sides of mayonnaise because I'm a monster.
No, I'm with you. I do that with a Thanksgiving turkey.
Pepper is the one thing that has to be on there, like freshly ground pepper on a turkey and cheese sandwich for me, even if it's just a junk sandwich that I'm eating over the sink.
Yeah, I still make sandwiches like I'm 12. So
yeah.
So I do it that way, and then I put like some Fritos on it or something.
I remember going to a friend's house when I was in college, and his mom made us a turkey and cheese sandwich, and it was like bread, mayonnaise, turkey, cheese, lettuce, then Italian dressing, tomato, salt and pepper, and then more mayonnaise. And I was like, what the fuck is this fancy ass sandwich?
That almost reads like a
hilarious
hoagie though, you know, with
but it was just on bread, and it was just a turkey and cheese sandwich, but she just put the other stuff on there. And I was like, you don't put you don't put lettuce and tomato on a turkey and cheese sandwich. And I ate it. And then I ate it and I was like, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever eaten in my fucking life.
Yeah, no, to me that sounds like, you know, you get almost like all the goodies inside like a hoagie, but stuck in just some regular sliced ass white bread.
Yeah. It was so good though. It was just like one of those things like, oh, you can elevate just like a shitty afternoon sandwich.
Yeah. Like, the Italian dressing.
It wasn't
vinegar.
It wasn't fancy.
You know?
Yeah. It was just one of those. And now you can get that like those bottles of like sandwich dressing.
Yeah.
You ever seen those? And it's
pretty much the same thing. Olive oil.
Yeah, vinegar and olive oil and a bunch of Italian herbs and some garlic powder, you know, whatever it is. But I have a bottle of that stuff in my fridge for like anytime I just want to do like a funky sandwich. I'm like, hell yeah, let's put some of that shit on there. It's
I might
great.
have to throw one of those in my fridge too, just to have it around, because I love vinegar and oil on a sub like that, you know.
You know what that's really good for too? If you have people over and you just want to be like, I got nothing to give them, just dump that shit into a bowl and then just chop up some like bread, like, you know, get like a decent baguette or something, and then just chop the bread up and then just be like, all right, everybody, here you go. And then just
it's the
the vinegar and oil
solution, like you get it.
Yeah.
Like the red sauce joint, you know.
Yeah. Love it. I remember being in my early 20s and thinking that was the fanciest shit ever, and I still love it. I still love just dipping fresh bread into vinegar and oil with salt and pepper. It's so fucking good. Yeah.
I love acidic foods. I love sour. I love acidic. You know, that's just my thing. I just like, that's why I like hot sauce so much.
Right. I remember there was a time in the early 2000s where you couldn't go anywhere without seeing one of those like kits. You know, it would be like the little bowl for your oil, and that would have oil and then a balsamic vinegar and then like a couple seasonings if you wanted to get crazy, you know?
Oh yeah.
And that shit was really good.
Yeah.
The trick was to do it vinegar first and then your herbs, so it hydrate them a little bit, and then put in the oil.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because otherwise you're just getting like, you know, if it gets encapsulated in oil, it's never getting dry. It's
just gonna be all up in your teeth.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like eating dried grass. You know?
Yep. I'm gonna need the Facebook group, if they listen, to chime in on the sandwich debate, because I'm still trying to win this argument after 13 years. So
what's hers? Is she on my side where
versa,
she does? Yeah. So she's sane, is basically what you're saying.
I mean, she married me, so that's debatable. But
well, yeah, that's that. You know, I see what you're saying though. Like, and it's funny because maybe I don't think about it that much because, well, no, because what I'm thinking of right now is a mayonnaise on both sides sandwich. Because I'm like, mayonnaise on cheese on that side of the bread's really good, but again, I don't put mustard on my side most of the time. So yeah,
that's just my little vinegary kick that I like with you. Just kind of break up all the fattiness of the cheese. Yeah. So, but that's just me,
God,
you know.
Could you imagine putting ketchup on a fucking turkey sandwich?
No,
I don't know why that just came to mind. I was like, wait a minute. Is that an intrusive thought? What the fuck?
It sounds kind of that way. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, when my little brother was like probably 4 or 5, his favorite thing on the planet was a mustard and ketchup sandwich. Full stop. Just mustard, ketchup, and bread.
When I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money, and there was a kid up the street who had less, and he would eat ketchup sandwiches on the regular but his mom would just give him one slice of bread and then ketchup and then fold it over because that's all they had. And I was like, God damn, dog. Why don't you come down? Let me fix you a sandwich. Yeah. But, and I would go to his house and she would fix me ketchup sandwiches. And I'd be like, all right, whatever, dude. And surprisingly, not bad. If you like ketchup, the bread mushes into it. It's great.
Yeah.
But again,
you just imagine the hot dog.
Yeah. You
can almost taste the hot dog.
I mean, for that kid, a mustard and ketchup sandwich would have been super fancy. Like, oh shit, I get mustard too?
Extravagant.
God damn. Bit beef. I smoked one of the chickens. I roasted the other one last night. That was easy. I ruined a pizza. That was fun.
Oh man.
I made pizza for Crosby and I. Last week, Leanna went out for the night, and I was like, I still have fixings for pizza. All I got to do is make the dough. I made 3 pizzas. Made a pepperoni. I made a cheese, and then something else. I don't remember exactly what the third one was, but I fucked the pizza up royally. I mean, the first one came out so bad. Oh, I did one that was pesto and cheese. But I mean, I don't know if you could see this, but
is that Venezuela?
Yeah, it looks like Venezuela in the middle of the pizza.
How did that? Is the bottom of it just like carbon or?
No, that's the top of it.
Well, I know, but I'm just trying to figure out how a piece fell out of it like that.
So what had happened was I pulled the pizza out and it was undercooked. I was like, shit, it looked like it was good to go, but when I pulled it out, it wasn't good. And it had a little hole in it that was leaking sauce. When I put it back on my pizza steel, my baking steel, it immediately
stuck,
cauterized and stuck the pizza to the steel. So when it looked like it was actually done, I went to go in to peel it and it just ripped the hole. Like I grabbed under the pizza and then into the pizza.
Oh,
if you know what I'm saying? Like
it
made like a tab that when I hit that, it went into the pizza and it just, the whole pizza kind of folded in on itself. I was like, no,
oh, damn it.
And I had to pull it out and then kind of shuck it off the thing and then rearrange it back on and throw it on the metal rack really quick.
You put semolina on your steel when you...
No, because, and that was another reason why it stuck, because I've been doing parchment.
Oh, okay.
So you put the pizza on parchment and then you put it in the oven, and then halfway through the cooking process, you just fucking pull that thing out like you're pulling a tablecloth off of a dining table.
Ta-da!
And yeah, you just hold it and it comes right out, and then it cooks the rest of the way. And it's really good, and you don't get all the I don't like fucking having a bunch of cornmeal on the bottom of my pizza.
I mean,
and I don't like it doesn't actually, I can't say I eat enough pizza to like, it's fine. What I don't like is it falling down into my oven and burning to hell at the bottom of it, and having to sweep it all out after 3 or 4 pies.
Oh yeah.
In one night, it hits the bottom of the oven where the oven's really hot and it burns. Then it creates smoke, and you gotta put on the exhaust fan and shit. So
I honestly, the when I cook pizza on like a stone, I usually do it on my Weber.
Yeah,
and I put the semolina on the stone so it doesn't stick when I go to slide it off the peel. And I'll put some on the peel too right before I lay the dough down.
Yeah.
And give it like a ball bearing kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing. Like I can't put the pizzas on my metal peel if I'm using semolina, because the dough will, as soon as it's a little uncovered, it immediately sticks to the metal. You know, so you got to use the the wooden pizza peel, which I use a lot. It's bigger, but sometimes the metal one's just a little smaller. It's a little easier to get in and out.
Yeah.
But I overextended my dough. I tried to get it too big and wound up popping a hole, and I missed it. And I was just like, it'll be thin, but that's fine. It'll be too thin in parts, but that's fine. And I should have kept it at 10 inches instead of trying to go for 12 and ripping a hole in it. So, you live in the you know, as much as I think I'm a good cook, and then, you know, fuck it all up, and you're like, oh, humbling moment.
That's how we learn, though.
Yeah. You know, and you're like, okay, well, what happened? And, you know, if I'd have kept it on the parchment, I'd have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do, you know, like you still, even on the parchment, you still get like, you know, the little char marks and everything like that. But what I do is I have a double oven in my stove.
Yeah.
So the bottom one's a convection oven, and it's got a few racks. And then the top one is a small one. It's only got one. And that's got a broiler in it. So I put the rack at the top, then I put the steel in, and that gets it really, really close to the broiler. So when I put the pizza in, I put it in like 550, and then you get that oven spring, and then I'll kick on the broiler, and then you get the heat
Finish
from the
off
top.
The top. Yeah.
Yeah. So
most of the
works
time
really well that way.
When I cook pizza inside, I do like a Detroit style. I've got a regular nonstick that works great for that, and because I love that edge to edge thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I do any round pies, I usually do them outside on the grill because I have an insert for my Weber that turns it into a pizza oven.
Nice.
It's basically just a riser that sits between the lid and the grill that has a slot in the front. Mm-hmm. And you put the stone inside the Weber, and you build the fire toward the back, away from the opening, so it kind of comes up and over.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like doing like a coal-fired oven situation, but on a smaller scale, and way less.
No, that sounds rad.
An actual coal-fired oven.
That sounds fun as shit. I do grill pizzas every now and then, but they're tricky to do because you got to kind of grill the dough first a little bit, and then put the toppings on, and then set it to the side.
Oh, okay.
Trying to do it all on the grill, the weight's too much and it sinks into the grates over the and then trying to get it out, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I made the mistake one time of trying to grill pizza for camping. That was bad. Everybody got really bad pizza that night.
Well, you know,
I was like, I'm gonna be fancy, make fucking pizza at campsite over a fucking, you know, wood fire. I figured it out, but it was the first two were just I mean, they wouldn't. I had to just kind of chop them into the fire through the grate. I was like, it's unedible.
Nobody saw anything.
Oh, everybody saw it. We were all sitting around the fire. They're all watching me fucking laughing like, are we going to eat tonight? And I'm like, maybe we might have to have sausage from tomorrow. I don't know.
I mean, does Uber Eats come here?
Yeah. In fucking Burkittsville, Maryland. Set of the Blair Witch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where we go camping at, up in fucking Burkittsville.
You know,
I've been going there since I guess the first time I went up there was after the Blair Witch Project, because I didn't start camping until I was out of college, really. And then I was like, when they took me up there, I was like, "You fucking kidding me? We're in Burkittsville?" And they're like, "Well, it's technically Burkittsville, but not." I'm like, "Are you fucking took me to the Blair Witch Woods to fucking camp? Are you insane?" It's like, I grew up in Baltimore City, right? Like, I don't appreciate this. But then we had such a good time, and I got drunk, and I was like, "Fuck that witch."
A few beers will fix that.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, no, when I was in Boy Scouts, we used to go camping at this place that was a property owned by one of the family members of the one of the like leaders in the scout troop. And I don't know, they told us the story about this particular tree on this property.
Oh God.
It was a dead ass tree. It was a big dead tree. And the story was that uh, I don't even. I'm not sure what the accepted nomenclature is for a like traveling show kind of situation.
Yeah, just like a carnival.
Well, no, it was more I guess
I know what the word is before carnival that we're not supposed to say, right?
well,
Is that what you're saying?
no, it's the like, I guess they Romani now they call them.
Yeah, Romani. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh apparently way back when they caught them stealing cattle or something, and they tried to and they hung one of them in this tree allegedly.
Jesus.
And then they tried to burn the tree down and it wouldn't burn.
Ugh.
And so there's just this tree out in the middle of this field all by itself that they've apparently tried to burn multiple times and it won't burn.
Yeah, that's.
I'm sure it's
fuck
bullshit.
you up as a
People tell
child.
these stories,
Yeah.
But when I was 12, it was like, what the fuck, really? And I'm sleeping 100 yards from this tree.
Yeah, the place that I go camping at, they've gotten, it was just campsites, and now they've built like tree houses. They have a hobbit house that's really cool that we've actually stayed in, and it's built into like the side of a hill. It's got the round door, and yeah, it's fucking cool. And they have like yurts, big ass fucking teepee yurts and shit in the fields, and it's nuts. We're going there this year. I think my wife's trying to get the hobbit house again.
That's cool. I totally do that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like just to hang out, and it's fun because that thing is out of the way. It's not around the other campsites, so you can kind of like have your own thing and play your music, not super loud. But some of those tree houses are like right next to each other.
Yeah,
but they're fucking super nice. Like in terms of camping, I love camping. I love cooking while I'm camping.
I love camping, but my wife does not. So, so there has been no camping.
There was a point where we were camping a lot when Crosby was a lot younger, and then we started getting into like I guess glamping, where you just rent the house, and like we rented a tree house in West Virginia one time, and that was fucking awesome. Like it was actually up. You had to climb into a tree, and it was like one giant room, but it had like portholes to see down and shit, and it had a balcony on the back. Had well, the one terrifying thing for me, because I'm not a big heights person, is where Crosby slept was like kind of an overhang out of the building, but you had to climb up like a double bed. I mean, like a, what do you call it? Like a bunk bed. So you had to climb up like 10 feet and then get into like this little slot, but you're just laying kind of half on wood and half on glass so you could see down. And I was like, cover that shit up, dude. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm not.
Yeah, that sounds like way too much climbing for the amount of drinking I do when I camp.
Well, that's why I stayed down. Like I slept in a cubby hole because we played D&D that night, and like there's no electricity, so like you gotta just candles or whatever the fuck. And we played D&D that night, and that was really fun. But then I was like, I think I drank too much wine to get in bed. I'm just gonna stay here. Like I just stayed up listening to music and reading by candlelight like a fucking creep. And yeah, I was like, I'm not attempting to get in that bed.
Yeah, I'm with you on the heights though.
Because we had to climb up into our bed, but then his bed was above that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big heights guy either. So
but yeah, so now like we're talking about camping again. I'm like, all right, well, we can break out the camping gear, right? And Lena's like, well, I don't know if our backs are ready for that. I was like,
yeah, that's the hard part for me nowadays is because when my son was like 12 or 13, he was in Cub Scouts. Well, I guess. And so we went camping a couple times. And I was like, I am not built for this anymore. I can't sleep on the bare ground anymore.
We even bring a air mattress, but man, has anyone ever made a air mattress that works? Like
I have not yet encountered said manufacturer of air mattress.
Yeah. So. Like you're in a deflated balloon by morning.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I moved into my apartment years ago by myself, that I had the clothes that were in my closet, a few pots and pans, a couch, and an air mattress. And then suddenly I had 2 cats.
Oh, no.
See where that went.
Yep.
So that was one night about 3 o'clock in the morning that I ended up at Walmart when it was still open 24 hours buying another air mattress. I was real pissed off.
Yeah, at that point I'd be like, yeah, the cat's got to go. But yeah, I'm excited about cooking camping stuff. I always want to do that thing where they take the orange and then core it out and put the cake batter in it and then put the other half on it and then wrap it up in aluminum foil and throw that in the fire. And then the cake expands into the other side, but you got like orange flavored cake.
I've actually seen that. I learned how to do that with eggs, believe it or not.
In an orange?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
You just crack. Yeah. You put some coals next to some stones.
Right.
You just crack an egg into like half an orange peel and it basically just kind of poaches it. And that was.
But doesn't it taste like orange?
A little bit, but I mean, once it's all mixed,
you're hungry. You don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's protein.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any plans for any kind of food this weekend. I'm sure I'll fucking get into something stupid and I'll talk about it in a week or two. But let's get into some food news.
All right.
I got a bunch of stories. I'm only going to do 3, I think. So these first 2 are, like kind of lists, which I found interesting. So it's the beginning of summer. People like to drink beer. And America's favorite beer are lagers, right? What are you drinking right now?
New Belgium Voodoo Ranger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's my jam. It's
very hoppy.
No, this one actually it's called Juice Force. They call it an IPA, but it's not like hoppy like a Dogfish or a Lagunitas.
So it's not their normal Voodoo Ranger?
No. This one's they have another. They did 3 that came out a couple of years ago. They did the Juice Force, and they did Tropic Force. That's kind of a leans into sort of like a tropical,
mango pineapple thing. Yeah,
sort of. Yeah, and then the Fruit Force, which is like a fruit punch IPA.
Oh, okay.
And they're really they don't drink bitter at all, which I'm
that's
cool with. I don't mind. I'll drink an IPA. I mean, I've drank some IPAs that made me question whether or not I would pass a drug test, but
I like a normal IPA. I don't like a super hoppy IPA. And it's funny because IPAs are now like everybody's like fucking IPAs are dad beer, and it's like a regular IPA is really good. Like it doesn't have to be like I like an IPA from 20 years ago when it just tasted like an IPA and it doesn't taste like eating a pine tree.
Yeah. The choice of hops definitely factors into.
Yeah, totally. But for generations of Americans, lagers were synonymous with beer. Major brands like Coors, Budweiser, Busch, and Miller built empires based on easy drinking, adjunct-packed lagers. Those that included additional non-malted fermentable ingredients such as corn, rice, or wheat for clarity or taste, which are the adjunct-packed lagers. And though the modern era has brought us the resurgence of IPAs, double box Belgian style ales, I do love a Belgian, and so on.
Yeah.
Some of the best selling beers are still macro brewed lagers. Beer fans tend to stick with a favorite brand. It's rare to hear someone who usually drinks Budweiser say, I think I'm actually in the mood for a PBR tonight instead. But with so much similarity in between mass market brews, most can generally pick their favorite and just go with it. But can they pick it out of a lineup? So the editors of, I think this was Food and Wine, got together and tasted 20 different beers and argued about Miller High Life versus Coors Banquet and all the other just regular beers that we're used to. And I'm going to go through this list of the first couple, and they kind of put them into categories.
Okay.
So here are the winners of the categories. Best overall, Brooklyn Brewery Brooklyn Lager. Have you ever had it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good
Pretty
beer.
solid.
Yeah, Brooklyn Brewery's flagship Vienna style lager handily beat out most of the competition. Quote, definitely the most flavorful of the bunch, end quote, said one editor. Malty, toasty, notes pair with dry hop finish, creating a beer that's crisp and refreshing. It's great for almost any occasion. I agree, that's a good beer. There is a beer that I drink here that's similar, but I think is better. It's called Duckpin. But
I think I've heard of Duckpin. I've just never encountered it in the wild, but
yeah, it's a local beer.
Well, because Duckpin bowling is a thing on.
Yeah, it's by Union Craft. They make a bunch of different beers. I don't know if Union Craft gets down to where you're at.
I haven't seen it yet, but that doesn't mean it's not here because there's a lot of very niche specialty beer stores around.
Theirs is just a regular pale ale. It's not an IPA, which I really like, but it's got more flavor than a lager. And it's just really fucking nice. It's a 5.5, it's crushable. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay.
For me, it's a perfect grilling beer. When
it's a cookout beer. Yeah.
Cause most of the time, believe it or not, I drink White Claws now.
I mean,
I like the green apple White Claws. Sue me. I'm watching my girlish figure, but
I am not.
When I'm grilling or if I'm cooking outside, and honestly, now that it's summertime too, I want beer, and the Duckpin's fucking my go-to. It's so good. Okay. Best old school craft beer, Sam Adams Boston Lager. Created by the Boston Beer Company in the mid-1980s, Sam Adams proves its craft credentials are strong as ever, and was the only beer to come close to rivaling Brooklyn Brewing for the top spot. This German-style lager is pleasantly bitter with a touch of sweetness via malted barley with no adjuncts or additives. Or as one reviewer summed up, this tastes like real beer. I haven't had a Boston lager in forever. I don't generally like Sam Adams.
It's okay.
It's not a bad beer, but
it's not my favorite.
It's not my first order. I'm stuck drinking them when I go to the Renaissance Festival up here because they do the Oktoberfest, and that's not bad for when you're outdoors, watching people dressed up like fucking, Jon Snow and drinking outside. So
yeah, the problem here is when we have our Ren Fair, it actually just ended, I think. And so they do it last week of April going into like May into June. And it's usually hotter than shit the entire time.
Ours starts like the last week of August. And no one really goes there because it's so hot. And we always go because we know we can get tickets because we go like 3 times a year because we love the fucking place so much. But yeah, it's real fucking hot sometimes and it sucks.
Yeah, it's hot and expensive.
And then by the time October rolls around, it's like, it's cold because it ends right before Halloween.
Yeah, no, our summer doesn't give up until like mid-November. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody starts dressing. I mean, the people that dress up on the first weekend, I'm like, you're fucking crazy, man.
Oh no, they're just swimming in their own juices.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wet.
Their best Mexican lager is a Modelo Especial. Modelo Especial is an icon of Mexican brewing, and for good reason. Among the Mexican beers we tasted, this pale yellow Pilsner style had the most robust profile, remaining fresh and light-bodied with a slightly longer bitter finish. Someone said this tastes like the 1980s in the best way.
Yeah, no, that miles above Corona. And
I agree.
Yeah, because Corona without a lime just tastes like skunk ass.
Yes. I have a friend who drinks Modelo, and she leaves her beers here like as a joke because she knows I won't drink them. But I drink them every now and then, and they're good. Like, they're good, regular ass beer.
Yeah, I like the Modelo Negro.
Yeah. Those are pretty good too. Best for dive bars, they got the Narragansett Lager. Brewed in Rhode Island is a cheap beer of legends. It's an American adjunct lager that's well balanced with a bready finish. The ubiquitous 16-ounce cans means you'll get more bang for your buck, and you can get a keg of it, and it's pretty cheap. I prefer Pabst over Narragansett or even Natty Bo, which a lot of people here are like, how dare you? But Natty Bo has been brewed in Baltimore since fucking 1970s, I think, or 1980s. And I'm okay with an Narragansett.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. I've heard of it again, but I've never seen it. Like PBR down here is every punk rock show, it's 16-ounce cans for $3 at the bar.
Yeah, they're great.
So
they're crisp and they're wet and they're, you could drink a bunch of them when you're hot.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make you feel like you're fucking, super dried out.
Yeah, that was my roller derby beer for a long time. So
I used to go to a bunch of punk rock clubs when, before Parenthood and all that shit. And once PBR got like famous again, I was like, man, I can't drink this anymore. Cause you start getting looks and shit. You're like, can I get a PBR? I'm like, all right, hipster. I'm like, fuck. I guess I'll have a Miller Lite.
Yeah, down here that's Montucky.
Oh, Montucky?
Yep.
What's that?
It's basically a Austin hip equivalent. I'm not even sure where it comes from. But it's called Montucky Cold Snacks, and it comes in the same. It's just as cheap as PBR. It's actually pretty good. The can is baby blue with
I see it.
Corn and a rainbow on it, or a horse and a rainbow on it, and
Christ, even their fucking website is just hipsters.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
God.
And it's like $7 or $8 for a 6-pack of 12-ounce or 16-ounce cans.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
I'm into that.
It's pretty solid, and every dive bar in Austin, which is super hipster, has it.
So there's a really good beer store down the street from me, and they've got every beer known to man. I'm gonna have to check to see if they have this, because they have them by state, and they have almost every state taken care of.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure they have some pretty national distribution. So.
Yeah.
However, I can't find Natty Bo here.
Yeah, I mean, you're not missing anything. It's sweet. That's why I've never liked Natty Bo. It's got a sweet finish to it that I'm like, that beer shouldn't be sweet like that.
Yeah, our shit down here is Shiner.
Yeah, and I'm okay with Shiner Bock or Shiner. Yeah, they're okay. Let's see, the American Classic, the Coors Banquet beer. Which has made itself back from the dead. Like Coors Banquet was dead, and then all of a sudden, I think that's become like a good hipster thing now.
Something like that. Yeah, there was definitely some social group that had some influence on the popularity.
Because that when I was a kid, that was a fucking old man beer.
Yeah,
the Coors Banquet beer. It was like having an old motherfucker drink. What is it? The champagne of beers. Which one's that?
Oh, High Life. Yeah, no, that was my jam in my formative delinquent post high school years.
Yeah, I had a buddy who just drank High Life all the time, and one of the reasons was because he knew nobody liked it, so he knew nobody would snake them from him at parties and shit.
No, yeah, no. When I lived in Indiana for a couple of years after I got out of high school for some goddamn reason, and up there I lived right on the Indiana-Michigan border, and there was a beer store right on the border where you could buy a flat of the little Pony High Life bottles for like $12.
Nice.
So it would be like, leave work on Friday, go cash your paycheck, and then to the beer store, buy 2 or 3 flats of these bottles, and then head out to the boondocks where friends lived out in the middle of nowhere, and it was party time. Nice. But you'd have to keep all your bottles because they have bottle deposit there.
Oh, shit. Nice. Hey, way to recycle.
Yeah.
Of all the U.S. brewed golden lagers, Coors Banquet remains a fan favorite, thanks to the producer's signature yeast strain and cold fermentation processes. This beer has a smooth, relatively malt-forward profile with subtle and noticeable hints of banana, which that doesn't sound great. The perfect blend of everything you go want in a beer. I don't want banana in my beer, but sure, guys.
Your nanos.
Yeah, gross. Best beer for the beach, Corona Extra. Sure. I'm not even gonna read it. I don't want it. I don't like it.
Not a fan.
I don't even like it with a lime. Yeek. Best light beer, got Miller Lite, which I always love Miller Lite as just the shit beer it is, because you can drink like 1,000 of them and not get drunk.
Yeah, it's just a sports drink.
Yeah, it's just water. And I always find it when people start getting drunk on Miller Lite, they can't say Miller Lite.
No.
Can I get Miller Lite?
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite, please. Can I get 2 Miller Lights?
Mr. Miller.
Even though none of our editors named Miller Lite as its preferred choice in our pre-tasting poll, America's original light beer earned its highest score for all the light beers sampled. Hops and notes are subtle, traded for smoothness and flavor, drinkability, and a low calorie count. But Miller Lite offers a pleasant structure, effervescence, which I actually think is the key to Miller Lite, that it's a little more bubbly. Yeah. And unusually strong head retention that stands out in the beer category. And then somebody was like, dude, I could just chug this all day. It's refreshing and well balanced. And it's bland and watery, but
it's pool beer.
Yes, exactly. So here's their list of 20 beers from first to last. Brooklyn Lager, Sam Adams Boston Lager, Modelo Special, Narragansett, Coors Banquet, Corona Extra, Miller Lite. Those are the ones we talked about. 8 is PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Bud Light, Miller High Life, Pacifico, Coors Light, even more, Tecate, Natural Light. I like Tecate for
Micheladas.
Micheladas, yeah.
Yeah.
They're perfect for micheladas. They're so fucking good.
And they make their own pre-canned micheladas, which are pretty solid too.
Are they really?
Yeah,
There's no fucking way I'm making a pre-made one, but
well, I mean, they're already done. You just pop the top and get after it.
Yeah.
But they're actually not too shabby.
What's all in a michelada? It's lime juice and beer.
Tomato juice and lime.
Tomato juice and lime. Yeah,
and usually something spicy-ish, like chili powder or something, or tahini, or
There's a bunch of Latino places around our house, and a couple of them sell micheladas, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll get like 2 or 3 a year. And then there's always that one weekend I'm like, let's make micheladas, and it's like, no, that's a bad idea. So much shit. 14 is Natural Light. 15 is Yingling. No, thank you.
Yingling's okay.
Busch Light. That was kind of like a college beer for a lot of people, and I'm just not a fan. Busch Light, which was what?
Yeah.
What's that?
Busch lattes.
Oh no, I meant the Yingling Busch Light. Yeah, Beast was fucking the college beer for us. Anytime we had a party, we got a keg of Busch Light.
Fucking Keystone here.
Oh really? Ooh.
Yeah, because you can buy a 30 pack of it for $20. And
Keystone, when Coors tastes too good.
Yeah.
Red Stripe 17, Budweiser at 18. It's surprising Budweiser's so far down. 19's Rollin' Rock, which I don't. I'll die before I drink a Rollin' Rock. They're just gross. Yeah. And then Mick Ultra, which my mother would be very disappointed.
Oh yeah, my friend up the street, that is her jam. The Mick Ultra, man. It's like
all my mother and her old friends love.
They actually make some Mick Ultra that had some versions of it that have some flavors that are actually not too bad.
Really?
They have a prickly pear and lime Mick Ultra.
Weird.
And it's actually pretty damn good. It's definitely one you could just take down a solid number of and feel okay about life,
Yeah, that's super weird. All right, where are we at? Okay, I'm going to blow through this next one.
Okay.
It's America's favorite burger chains, which is really interesting. And this is all from Yelp.
Reliable.
I'll give you 3 guesses at the number 1.
America's favorite burger chain, McDonald's.
Nope.
No.
Not even in the top 10.
No shit.
Yeah. I've never heard of 2. I've heard of some of the other ones.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack's in there, but it's not number 1.
Five Guys.
Five Guys there, but not number 1. Number 1 is In-N-Out Burger.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I guess there's kind of an unfair thing. Being in Texas, everybody is so fucking obsessed with Whataburger down here. And when In-N-Out came in and they're like, oh, that's from California, they're all flipping out. They want to find everything they can find wrong with In-N-Out so they can complain about it because it's not fucking Whataburger.
Right.
And
is Whataburger a Texas thing?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Well, mostly Texas, but they're starting to branch out into some of the more Gulf states.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've had In-N-Out and it's fine. You know, I'm not a huge fast food burger guy most of the time.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, even the animal style, I you know, which they do fries and double stack burger, you know.
Yep. That's my
good. The In-N-Out burger. Yeah. And it's good, but I didn't realize they've been around since 1948. I thought they just popped up in the 90s.
Well, I mean, coming from being born in Southern California and my family, you know, has roots there. I was familiar with In-N-Out before it ever showed up in Texas.
Yeah. So like they're going through and they're figuring stuff out, and it's interesting to, I guess, to show you where Yelpers are these days. Like they're top. Okay. We'll go top 25.
All right.
Instead of reading all the bullshit of how they came up with their things, because they just surveyed a bunch of Yelpers or I just took it straight from Yelp.
Yeah.
Top 10, In-N-Out Burger, the Habit Burger Grill. Never heard of it.
I think I've heard of it, but I wouldn't know where to find one. 3,
Shake Shack, 4, Culver's. I've heard of them. 5, Islands Restaurants. Never heard of that.
Neither.
6 is Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers.
Freddy's fucks, man. It's
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're smash burgers, and they have these super thin shoestring fries, and they have their own fry sauce.
Nice.
And it's fantastic, and they have really good custard.
Okay, if I see it, I'm gonna do it.
They're propagating heavily down here. I don't know if where they're regionally where they are, but if one pops up, it's not gourmet by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and that's definitely. Okay.
They have some solid burgers. So
cool. I mean, 7 is Five Guys, and I love them, but they're
expensive.
Dude, it's so expensive now. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. But yeah, I do like a Five Guys burger if I'm not making them myself. Number 8 is Wayback Burgers. Never heard of them. Number 9 is Mooyah Burgers, fries and shakes.
Yep, they're all over.
Never heard them. Are they really?
I've never been there. My wife likes it though, and she's always threatened to take me, but never got around to it. But she's a fan of the Mooyah.
You got to go and report back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on my to-do list.
Number 10 is Red Robin. Okay.
Yep. They've actually slid bad. They got bought out by Darden, the same people that own like Chili's and shit.
Yeah,
they absolutely fucking ruined the menu.
Yeah, there was one by me that was really successful, and then when they changed over, it went out of business like really quick because the food sucked, and then the people that worked there were not happy, I guess, and people weren't getting good service, so people just stopped going there. Yeah.
They did half the best shit off the menu, and we just don't go there anymore.
Yeah. 11's Jack in the Box. 12 is Cookout, which I just heard about today.
Yeah,
like apparently they're making a big push to come up here. 13's BurgerFi. Never heard of them.
I've seen a couple of those in like North Dallas. They're kind of up with the Five Guys vibe. You know, they're a little higher end.
Gotcha.
A little fancier.
14's Whataburger. 15's Wahlburgers. 16 Smash Burger, which I'm surprised Smash Burger. Well, you know, what am I thinking of? What's the really fancy place? I'm thinking of Shake Shack.
Shake Shack, yeah.
17 is McDonald's. 18 is Sonic. 19 is Burger King. And I disagree. I like a Burger King burger better than McDonald's, but that's me. 20 White Castle. I'd put White Castle early in the fucking top 20.
I mean, we don't have them down here, so I think
I'd put it at like 11.
Castle like once.
They're so good. They're garbage, but they're good.
Yeah.
Did you get a bag of them? 21's Fat Burger. 22's Wendy's. I haven't had Wendy's in forever, so who knows. 23's Carl's Jr.'s. 24 is Checkers, and I'm surprised about that because I remember really liking their burgers and really liking that they had those little apple pie bites that were awesome.
The only time I've ever seen a Checkers is when I lived up north.
I think it's also known as Rallies.
Yeah, Rallies and Checkers, same company, but we don't have them down here. At least not in my area. There might be some down south, but I've seen them when I was up north.
Coming in at number 25 is Steak and Shake.
I love Steak and Shake.
Yeah, people swear by them. I didn't see one,
and it's garbage, but it's delicious.
I didn't see one until I was in Indiana. Like
that's the same place I learned about
13 years ago.
I learned about Steak and Shake is in Indiana.
That's funny.
And then they started putting them down here.
Oh yeah, they've spread. And okay, our last story is a sad story. Cosmics is all the Cosmics in America are being closed, or in the world maybe. Do you know what Cosmics is?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna need somebody to call a grief counselor for that. I'm not sure how to live with myself after they've closed all the Cosmics. I don't know. I've seen one in the flesh in entire area.
McDonald's is pulling the plug on Cosmics, COS, uppercase MCS, the fast food giant's beverage focused experiment that debuted in December of 2023 in suburban Chicago. We talked about it on the podcast back then, and I remember being like, what the fuck are they talking about? So the move will surely sadden fans of the hyper sweet drink peddler from that location and Cosmic's 4 other locations in Texas. So they only had 5 places. So the first one opened in Bolingbrook, which is a 45-minute drive from Chicago. There's your first fucking problem. And they drew hordes of customers and influencers as the Golden Arches introduced a new menu without burgers and fries. There were breakfast sandwiches, boba tea, coffee beverages, but no tables inside. There was a drive-through concept for motorists. It even came with a new app that was discontinued on June 13th. And they just expanded to Texas in 2014, where they opened up 4 chains. Menu options include popping pear slush and yellow turmeric flavored latte that didn't actually use turmeric, according to the drink list. The drinks, as mentioned, were very sweet. The restaurant debuted 16 months ago. When the restaurant debuted 16 months ago, the suburban strip mall was flooded with cars and drivers waiting to take out sample offerings. And local police had to shut down things sometimes, but it just wasn't doing enough. And they're going to say some of the menu items are going to be folded into McDonald's menus at some point, which, sure.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds terrible. Like,
yeah. And I fucking hate popping boba. So
were they trying to, I guess they were trying to like fuck with, I don't know who has like Starbucks maybe.
I mean, I don't even know. It seems like they took DNA from a bunch of different things and smashed it into the wrong cell.
People swear by McDonald's breakfast stuff. Like,
I mean, I worked there when I was like 17 or 18. I worked at McDonald's, so I know how the sausage is made, so to speak, because it's not. But I'll still get me an Egg McMuffin now and then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at Subway when I was a teenager, and I don't eat there. But yeah, it's really interesting. And I honestly, when I first saw the article, I thought Cosmics was their thing where they were serving beer. But maybe that was Burger King.
Maybe, I don't know. They don't do anything fun down here like that. So
either which way, RIP. Pour some boba tea out for fucking Cosmics.
I'll pour all of it out.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it for this episode of Food News for the Rude Cooking School podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to talk about or promote? Or
really, at the moment, I don't have anything fun or brand new going on other than just, normal stuff. So
cool. Well, thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. For the Rude Cooking School podcast, I'm John Hauser III.
And I'm Saucy Soren Marquardt.
Hell yeah, you are.
In my NPR voice.
Bye, everyone. So thank you for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you want to join us on the interwebs, you can find us at Facebook. Just look up Rude Cooking School. You can join us and have a blast sharing memes and being silly and asking questions and looking at other people's recipes and being jealous. But then they'll give you the recipe and you'll be happy about it. We're also on Blue Sky. I'm at Rude, Rouxde, and also at Rude Podcast. Find us over there. I post more there than I do. I post more on the Facebook thing, but more than any other of the socials I'm getting off of Instagram and other things. So come and find me at Rude Podcast or at Rude on Blue Sky. If you can, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, anyone who is into cooking or food or eating or food history or podcasts or just lonely and want to hear an asshole talk to them. Just let them know about the podcast. We really appreciate it. We don't pay for advertising, and word of the mouth is how we get around. So, that said, thank you for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm John Hauser. Don't yuck my yum. I'll see you next week. Peace.